for the majority of jobs I've done, they don't care as long as the work, like nobody's there telling you what you have to do. They're just telling you, this is what I want. You go get it for me by Friday or Thursday or whatever it is. And it's a totally different vibe. But there's also things that personally I don't find to be cons, but there are cons to freelancing that, depending on how people are wired and how they look at stuff, you know, they would be like, I don't want to do freelancing. So in your opinion, like, what are some of the downsides? Like you mentioned earlier, you know, checks never come on time, which is also my experience. But then also you have to kind of approach your finances slightly differently. Like you can't have your rent due on Monday and you get paid on Friday, because you might not get paid on that Friday. But what would be some of the other cons that you see?
Yeah, so I just want to elaborate on that first one. I don't want to
Sure.
downplay that at all. That is by far my number one complaint with freelancing, consulting, contracting, is getting paid. Like I said, 15 years, never. On one hand, I can count the number of times I was paid on time. And we're talking 15 years, and it's, you know, at least 2 checks a month. So 5 times in 15 years I've been paid on time. And so people are wondering, like, well, what does that mean? That means every 2 weeks to 30 days, I am chasing money. And that doesn't mean like I'm like begging for money. It means I'm calling my client, emailing my client, being, hey, the invoice was due 3 days ago. 30, I mean, it's you know, net 30 means if I submit my invoice June 1st, they need to pay it by you know, June 30th. Yeah, I'll be on the phone with them or whatever on July 1st or 2nd, but hey, I didn't receive a check or whatever, and almost always like, oh, sorry, yeah, we're cutting it right now, or oh, it's already in the mail. And I have to say that, based on my experience, 80 to 90% of the time that's a complete lie. It's not in the mail. They just didn't cut it. And this is something that can get really frustrating, especially with companies with a lot of money. You know they have the money. It's just they're not paying you. So that can get really frustrating. And like you said, you have to plan your finances differently. So you've got to be willing to know, like, the work that I'm going to do today, I might not get paid for 6 to 8 weeks on if I have to collect on it. So you kind of have to build up this 6 to 8 week buffer of, you know, all right, now checks have been coming in for 6 to 8 weeks or whatever. Okay, now I can start looking at freelancing. So that's the number one thing, is that. The second thing is finding consistent client work. You have to understand your risk tolerance. And you have to understand and learn how to read people. This is a sales psychology tactic. You're going to find out people like, oh yeah, we have this new startup and we've got all this funding and we're about to close our Series A. And I'm like, all right, have you closed your Series A? No, we haven't, but we're right there. We need to get started on it right now. Can you start next week? And it's just like, I don't have a lot of trust in that process. So it's knowing whether or not someone is legit. That's one of the big ones there, is being able to read those people. And then is just kind of being long-term thought process about it, and being very strategic about finding your clients can be kind of a bummer. I like to find clients that are anywhere from 3 to 6 month contracts or longer. Hopefully I can extend those. So finding those clients can be challenging. Now, if you're at a client for a couple of years, that can also put you at a downturn, because no one's really seeing you out in the market, seeing that you're available. But you did mention recruiters, and in my opinion, recruiters are the secret weapon of contractors and freelancers. No one wants to admit it, because no one likes recruiters, because they'll send you a COBOL resume, you know, COBOL job. You're like, I'm not a COBOL developer. But you just have to realize, like, that they're just blasting it out there. And when you need help finding an Android gig, a Ruby on Rails gig, .NET gig, whatever, I have a huge plethora of email addresses in my inbox where if I need something, I'll just open that up and I'll blast them. Hey folks, here's, you know, I'm coming up in the next week or two. Here's my latest resume. Here's what I'm looking for. You got anything out there? Here's my rates. Boom. Within a few days, I've got multiple interviews lined up. So it's going to be I'm going to go back to it. It's getting paid. It is frustrating. Finding consistent client work can be frustrating. The other thing that can be frustrating with it is just the stress level that goes along with it. You have to, responsible for your health insurance. You're responsible, at least in the United States, you're responsible for your dental insurance, your life insurance, your disability insurance. You don't have a 401k. You don't have stock matching. You don't have a stock, plan. That's why your rates have to be higher, because you don't get all these perks. You don't have, and this is a big one too, you don't have paid vacation. If you want to take a day off, you're not getting paid. So you have to understand that when I would take a week off, I would have this underlying stress still kind of chipping away at me. I'm like, oh man, that's I'll do it by natural. I'll run the numbers in my head. Like, all right, I am not making X amount of dollars. Okay. Am I going to be okay this month, or did I save enough? And so it's just it's a big math and stress game. But if you can get ahead of the ball enough and save properly, live well beyond your means, it can provide you a fantastic life.